Hey everyone, Rick here, and folks, welcome back to another unit review for Battlefields of Mana. This time, we have Peasant Militia, folks. If you thought the swordsmen were the most basic melee unit in the game, let me introduce you to Peasant Militia. Normally we start from top down, but let's take a look at that bottom stat, their cost. This is the single cheapest full unit in the game, a single point. This unit of 6 is a single point to add to your army. As you can see, there's a little pitchfork icon on the flag to denote that this is, in fact, a unit of Peasant Militia. I will also say this is the only core unit in the game that has multiple poses of figures in the same unit. Now, this is a Regal Guard unit of Peasant Militia. We also have a Lunar Knight unit of Peasant Militia that I'll show in just a second, but from this Regal Guard unit you can see a couple of poses here. You can see a few of them have pitchforks in hand. You can also see a couple of them have scythes in hand, just like they ran off the farm and joined up with the Regal Guard for a cause. Now, before we get too far into it, let's also take a peek at the Lunar Knights unit of Peasant Militia. Again, as always, Lunar Knights have a different color scheme, different models in general. These guys have bills and spears as their weapons of choice. That was done by design. I figured the Lunar Knights are more imperialistic. They probably armed their civilians a little better if they are conscripted into service. And Regal Guard, I can imagine them being just more like average peasants, more like average citizens. So starting from the top, attack dice 1. That means each figure in the unit contributes 1 attack die in combat. They don't get the back row supporting attacks. Typically, when we talk about figures with the polearm special ability, if a unit is attacking or defending against this unit of Peasant Militia from the front, a unit of polearm would give a supporting attack of the rear rank. And I only mention that this unit does not have polearm because you might think, well, pitchforks are kind of a longer weapon. But no, in this case, Peasant Militia don't have the polearm special ability, so attacks from the front or the side are just 1 single rank deep, and each figure only contributes a single d6 attack die. Combat strength is nothing. No special abilities for combat strength. Armor is 1. That means opponents only need to roll 2s or better in order to hit them. Peasant Militia have a defense of nothing. This defense category is just their any kind of defensive special abilities. They'll still get defense dice rolled against any attack dice that get through their armor, but they don't have any additional defensive special abilities. Range, of course, is 0. They have no range weaponry. Movement is 4, typical for standard infantry type units, at least those that aren't over encumbered like some we'll see in a little bit. 4 inches of movement per movement action. Initiative bonus of +0. This is the lowest initiative bonus in the game. The peasants don't have any additional initiative modifiers that will affect their roll of the die when determining who goes first in melee. Health 2, as typical for, figures in a unit. 2 health per figure in the unit means every 2 wounds that this unit suffers, a casualty will be removed. Individual casualty removal was so important to me when designing the game. Had to do it, and love the little movement trays that Alternative Armies was able to create for me for the game. And then ability, or I guess I should call it a disability. They have an attribute here called rabble. That means, because, they're not trained soldiers, they are rabble. Anytime you roll a 6, whether that is as part of a defense roll, an attack roll, even an initiative roll, 6s are re-rolled. That's right. Now, if it's still a 6 the second time, the Peasant Militia gets to keep it. But if it is, they roll that 6, you gotta re-roll it. That is a disability called rabble. And then the cost we talked about earlier, 1, a single point. They're actually not the worst melee unit in the game. If you look at crossbows or archers, they suffer negative modifiers to attack and defense die rolls in close combat. So Peasant Militia at least have that going for them, though they do have to reroll 6s. But that's it, folks. That is the least expensive unit in the game. Unit of Peasant Militia. You gotta love it. It's especially helpful for when you're rounding out a force and you have a single point left. Well, you can take one of your other units and maybe trade it out for something one more point expensive, or you can fill that 1 point gap in with, oh, that's right, a unit of Peasant Militia. Fantastic fodder to throw out in front of they're a human barricade to protect your archers from cavalry coming up the flank or what have you. All right, folks, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it, and until next time.